Hey everybody, Kyle Knott, your average finance guy. Wanted to talk to you today a little bit about, got a couple that I'm working with that wants to get completely out of debt. Gave me their numbers. We kind of worked through a plan, and we're going to go through that example here for you guys today. So what we got, we'll jump right into it here. We got an income of basically around $7,000 a month. It kind of fluctuates up and down, but they said a pretty good average of $7,000 a month. They've got expenses of $6,543. This is all your utilities, your credit card bills, any debt you got. All those expenses coming out are $6,543 is what they guessed at, and pretty good guess, right? Cash flow of $457. So income minus your expenses, their positive cash flow $450 a month, which is awesome. Okay, too many of us are upside down on this. So now this is all of their debts. So here's where the magic of Velocity Banking happens. So they got their mortgage with a monthly payment of $1,070 at 3%. They owe $235 on it. They got a truck payment of $785 a month. They got a good rate there. They still owe $39,000 on that. They got a car at $425 a month payment. Again, a good rate. They owe $19,000. They got a credit card one. $605 a month is their minimum payment on a $14,000 balance. They got a credit card two of $300 a month. And look at these, 22%, 21% interest here. Insane, right? So these two credit cards, this one they owe $9,000. So in all of their debt payments, they pay $3,185 a month, and all added up is $334. What they do have is they've got a home equity line of credit available. They've already talked to the banker. They got that basically applied for and ready to roll. So they've got $85,000 of a home equity line of credit available to them. It has no balance at it. And right now they're charging an 8.5% interest on that. So what we could do is we can take this $85,000 line of credit, and what we can do is we can pay off the truck, the car, the credit card one, and credit card two. So if we take all this right here and we pay gone. Okay. Now add it up. So what I did here is the truck is $39,000, the car was $19,000, the credit card one $14,000, and credit card two is $9,000. Added up there is $81,095. Okay. What we're doing is we're taking all of this debt, not the house yet. We'll get there. We're taking all this debt and we're going to put that against our line of credit now. We did pay these off. We paid all these separate banks off, but what we did is we took this and we put it towards our line of credit. Okay. So now we don't have as much equity in our house because we decided to use it and pay off all of those loans. All right. $81,000 to be exact. But look what that did is it also eliminated all of those payments. Okay. The $785, $425, $605, and $300 adds up to $2,115. So when those added up, this now comes out of your expenses. Okay. So our new expenses, remember this was absolutely everything, including the debts. So now our new expenses is we've got to subtract $2,115, which equals new expenses of $4,428 per month. Okay. So here's our new expenses after we do all this. We can do all this on day one. Go through, pay all this stuff off. Our new expenses now. So now what we do as we get into the Velocity Banking portion of this, we've got an $81,000 balance. Remember, we paid everything off, and our new balance is $81,095. We've got income. We're going to take all of our paychecks. I don't care how often you're paid, dump that straight into this line of credit. Okay. Remember your line of credit. I've got some videos on that. Check those out, but it should have check writing ability. And what we want to do is we want to take every paycheck and we want to put it straight into the HELOC. Okay. So the balance, we want to knock that balance down as fast as possible. So I put all my income towards that line of credit, knocks it down to $74,095 throughout the month. Your expenses will come back out. All of your different, your utilities, your fuel for your car, everything else, life, basically, all of your expenses comes out. At the end of the first month, now we went from $81,000 to $78,523. Now, what we do is we just keep on doing this until we get that knocked down, and then we can do some other things with it. So I'm going to push pause quick. I'll go through the math, and I'll bring you back. Okay, we're back. Did a little bit more math here. What we did here, when I left off, we had a balance of 78,523. We have to put the interest in now too, because of this balance. This money isn't free. Remember, we got this HELOC at 8.5%. So the interest on that for that month was $574. So then that brings your balance back up to 79,097. So this is kind of where we're at the the end of the first month. Again, then you take your $7,000 of expenses, you put that right back into it, and throughout the month, I'm sorry, 7,000 of income goes straight in throughout the month. Your expenses come back out, and then at the end of that month, you've got $560 of interest. And I just calculated it on that highest number, so the number will never be that high again as long as we're utilizing this velocity banking concept. So what I did here, just so we don't have to do quite so much math, is every month your income minus your expenses is your cash flow. So that's $2,572. So here my second month balance of 77,086. You could go plus 7,000 minus 44,428, or you could just subtract your cash flow. Okay, it's basically those two numbers that stays the same every month. So just skip a step, subtract your cash flow, add back in your interest, gets you to 75,000. Subtract your cash flow from your balance of your home equity line of credit, and then add your interest back into it. Again, fourth month, we're down to 73. Subtract your cash flow plus your interest. You get you to about 71,000. Subtract your cash flow, gets you your interest. End of month 6, we're down to $68,895. Okay, so we started off at 81 grand. We got this thing knocked down to 68 in 6 months. I'll push pause one more time here and let you know where we're at. All right, I carried the math through, and what we got here is in 55 months of just kind of doing this all the way through. I got a spreadsheet. I just kind of zing it down. It goes pretty quick. So rather than putting all that up on the board and taking me 2 hours to do that, no one wants to follow that anyway. So month 55, your balance is down to $2,622. Your cash flow comes out. Your interest goes back in. And 56, you're left with a home equity line of credit balance of $68.61. Okay, we started with $81,000, and we're 56 months. 60 months is 5 years, so we're 4 months short of 5 years. You have paid off your truck, your car, and your 2 credit cards. Okay, just by following this velocity banking method here. So now, what this couple wants to be. I don't know that I would really go after the mortgage at this point. It's a low rate, but they said they want to be debt free. They don't want any more payments, and they're sick and tired of it. So I said, okay, let's do it. Let's run with it that way. So in 56 months, their mortgage, just by making the regular payment of $1,070 a month, and that would knock the balance of that down to $206,775 in the 56 month. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this free cash flow that we have here of the 2572, okay, and we are going to take the 2572 of cash flow, and we are going to dump this straight in to here. Okay, that is going where I'm not going to worry about putting that. Why would you put that against the HELOC? You could velocity banking would be to take an $85,000 chunk. If we've got this paid off, you could take one big chunk of that and knock this down. But remember what we're paying in interest tip here. It was $574. So to me, $574 of just interest. Our whole payment is $1,000. So what I would do at this point is I would just take my free cash flow at the end of the month and dump it right against this, make an extra payment. Still make your payment, still make your minimum payment. But remember, we've got all this extra cash flow. Add that to it. So you're making your $1,000 payment, plus you're making another 2.5 payments on top of that. And that is all going towards the principal. None of this goes to interest. A portion of this goes to the principal, and most of it goes to interest early on in the loan. So take this and knock that down, and guess what happens? In 61 months, 5 years, 1 month, your mortgage is gone. Okay, so we got 61 months, mortgage equals 0. That means now this is gone. And guess what? That gets added to our cash flow. Okay, so we had 2,572 plus 1070. We've now got $3,642. We're roughly 10 years, we're less than 10 years into this whole process. We've paid off $334,000, almost $335,000 paid off, and we've got a free cash flow of $3,642. You can do whatever you want. At this point, you're probably going to need another car, but it doesn't matter. Your house is paid off. Everything's paid off. You can trade your car in, your truck in, much lower payments. You can go back through the Velocity banking if you get another 1.9%, however you want to do it. But you've got $3,642 after just going after this for 10 years. Everything's paid off free and clear. So I hope this helps. Please let me know if you got any questions. I'm happy to help. Thank you.